So I'm not the doer, right? I'm not the person who is building the systems. I'm not going to be doing all the technical stuff. So I know how to, but it's not what I want to do, and that's not where you get the best value for me.
You could pitch it where it's like, hey, for me to be your fractional COO, it's $15K a month, but we have COOs on our team, junior, and then also like mid-level COOs that maybe like $7K and then $5K for someone junior.
I love it. I definitely can hit my numbers a lot faster with that strategy.
Energy high, excuses low. Energy high, excuses low. Energy high, excuses low. Energy high.
Hey guys, it's Ashley Kirkwood with the Speak Your Way to Cash podcast, and today we have with us Tonya Roberts, CEO of the Harmony Consulting Group and a Speak Your Way to Cash Mastermind member. We are going to be diving into one of her biggest business challenges and solving it live in this coaching episode. So LaTanya, introduce yourself to the Speak Your Way to Cash community. Let us know who you are and what your company does.
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Tonya Roberts, Harmony Consulting Group, where we harmonize operations with visionary leadership. And I serve as a fractional chief operating officer and an HR consultant.
Love that. Love that. And which one do you prefer, one over the other, COO or HR consultant?
COO.
Nice.
Yeah, I can make more impact as a COO.
Love that. Okay, and then what are the offers that you sell?
So I have a Done With You, which is my new membership group, which is the Harmony Ops Collective. And so that is, right now, it's a free membership group on Facebook, and then we'll be turning into a paid group. And then I have a Goldmine checklist, which is your operations checklist. So that's done for you. And then we also have our fractional COO retainer packages, and they come in various tiers, depending on level of service.
I love that. Okay. And which one is the biggest revenue maker for you right now?
Definitely the retainer packages.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And why do you want to take your group from a free group to a paid group?
I want to actually help other people do what I do. And so what I found with my clients is that, and I serve a lot of smaller businesses, small consulting firms and coaching firms. And a lot of times a CEO is serving two hats, or they have a VA or an assistant that is doing the operations role. And so I want to be able to give them tools, resources, and mentorship to be able to do that. And I can do that better in a paid community versus a free community. So it's a little bit more intimate access to me.
I like that. And what will be the cost?
That will be $97 a month.
So will it be for their VA or their assistant to learn ops from you, or will it be for the CEO?
It will. Well, the CEO can join, but ideally it will be for their VA or for the person that is coming in and doing the operations work for their company.
I really like that. I would consider a certification.
That is the next step.
Yeah.
So next year, the plan is to actually have certification for the program, and people can use my methodology and take that in service other clients or do that for their boss.
I like that. Okay, and now are you, what's your biggest business issue that you're bringing to the hot seat?
Actually, it's building out this community. So it is newer to the business. I have been serving as a full-time COO for a small consulting firm, and now I'm breaking off and doing fractional work. So marketing that and just, lead generation, typical business owner stuff.
Yeah.
But wanting people to come out and get interested in the community, sign up for the services, and then of course market the retainer packages.
And now with you going from serving full-time to doing fractional work, are you going to keep that client?
No.
Oh, did you pitch them?
I did pitch them. So I'm waiting to hear back. So I recently walked away from that full-time work because I wanted to spend more time on the business. So I needed to free up some time for that, as well as my other business ventures. So yes, I pitched them on that, as well as some other work that I sold, and I did sign one other client right now. So
Congrats!
Thank you. So I am serving as a director of operations for another consulting firm, and then I have room to take on a couple more.
That's amazing. And what do you know your capacity? Like how many you can take on?
Yeah, I think I can do 4 to 5 at a time, but as I develop this certification program, then I'll be able to outsource that piece as well with me providing oversight.
And I think even before the certification, you may just want to hire some 1099s to serve as fractional operations officers.
Absolutely. And so because my background is in HR and training, I'm definitely building an ecosystem around, so I'm not the doer, right? I'm not the person who is building the systems. I'm not going to be doing all the technical stuff. So I know how to, but it's not what I want to do, and that's not where you get the best value for me. It's overseeing the whole project and guiding people along the way. So I am building out an ecosystem. So think of me as a one-stop shop for all of your operation support.
Okay. So let's say you're pitching a chief operations package, a fractional COO package. You could pitch it where it's like, hey, for me to be your fractional COO, it's $15K a month, but we have COOs on our team, junior, and then also like mid-level COOs that maybe like $7K and then $5K for someone junior.
Absolutely.
And so you can hire them now, like put up a job description today on LinkedIn and start vetting those people so that as you get more business, you already have people that are trained.
Oh, I love that.
So we would like pay, let's say we paid $1,000 training rate, and they would be trained and ready to go, and they're just sitting on our bench waiting and ready to go. But they don't have to have hours right now for me to hire them right now. I just pay for their training, they're ready to go, and then as soon as I get that contract, they're already ready to go. So they just reserve a certain amount of hours. And I just am upfront with them about that. Like, hey, we're hiring you in advance of a big launch that we have coming up. You'll be paid for training, and then within 30 days, we plan to have you ramped up.
Oh, I love that. That's a great idea. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to do it like, you don't have to wait, like, oh, and then I get it, because it's too stressful, and typically people won't sell something in if they're not confident in their delivery capability. So they'll play too small, so just hire those people now.
Okay.
Always have those job posts going. Companies always have job posts open. They may hire them now, they may hire them later, and then we do something, and you'll learn about it in our, we're gonna do like that accelerator, and one of the days is a hiring day. But we like to do automated hiring. So I'm always hiring, and then I have people go through a written interview so that I can kind of see answers to some of their questions, so that when I need them, I'm just looking at Loom videos, I'm reviewing their written interview questions. I don't have to wait and do a whole brand new interview from scratch.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just call it a written interview. It's I'll put an example in the mastermind group, but for those of you watching, a written interview could be as simple as, hey, give me a Loom video where you answer these 5 questions. I have a client scenario like this. I want you to like answer this client scenario. What would you do in that regard? How would you handle it? You want to see how they think, and you want to see work products. So for you, like, send me 5 SOPs that you think accurately represent your ability to break down a process. How would you get onboarded with a new company in 30 days? Like, how would you prioritize what to do first, second, or third? Like, you want to just see how they think. And that can be written. I don't need to sit on Zoom with you for that. You can do that on Loom. You could just do that, and most people won't. Like, we will get 1,000 applications, and we will have 10 people actually do our written interview.
I like that, the self-selection. Yeah, that's good, yeah.
Yep, and Indeed lets you put jobs up there for free. LinkedIn, we do pay a little. You get 1 free job, but we pay a little bit. And it depends on the role. For creative roles, Indeed has done great for us. For more professional roles, LinkedIn has done really good.
Okay.
Yeah, so that could be good. And then you have Upwork too. Upwork is another place that you can ask qualifying questions. Whatever the platform, qualify your people. Don't let them lie to you in that interview and think they're gonna show up and be rosy on day one. See their work product, because they'll be working with your clients. I would do a timed interview on Zoom.
Okay.
So like, you put up a timer, you give them a scenario, and then you have them write an outline for an SOP in 10 minutes. And they do it live on Zoom, because the scams are going up on jobs.
Yes,
so the other thing people are doing is they're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this written interview, I'm gonna have my mama do it. Like, hey, let me see you work real quick. And it kind of shows how people work under pressure, how they think under pressure, which for our company is really important since we do live events. So I need to know, hey, the flight's canceled to New York tomorrow. I need to get there, and I need to do a stop in Cali. And I tell them in real time, find the flights. You know, so you can kind of see how they think.
Okay, I love that, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So I have some homework.
Yes, hire these people. And I know you mentioned building out the community too. So, but it sounds like the majority of the revenue comes from the retainer.
Yes.
So have you thought through, or what's the reasoning behind wanting to build up this lower cost community when the retainer services are bringing in the bulk of the business?
I want to have some passive income. I want to be able to not just depend on me, and I want something that is scalable. So my thought is eventually, as I get the certification program, I will have other people that can come in and do the work that I have, and I can kind of step away a little bit from the business and not be as involved. So this is me planning for my future.
Okay, like when you say not be as involved, how long for that?
That's a good question. Maybe 3 years from now. I want to build up something that's really sustainable. I know it's working well, be able to test it out to see what tweaks we need to make. And I'm not saying completely step away from the business, because I love what I do. It's just I also invest in real estate, and so I want to be able to do other things as well. Okay.
So how old is the company now?
Oh, I've had this company since 2016,
okay.
But I was a corporate warrior.
Yeah.
So I was doing it while I was working, and then 4 years ago, I stepped away from Big Four consulting
Congrats.
and went all in my business.
Which firm were you with?
I was with Deloitte.
Nice. Okay, so a couple of things with the membership. So I'm gonna go to the whiteboard. So you have in terms of your offers, you have your subscription offer. And this is bringing in the most money. And then right now you have a free community. And this will end up being a paid community at $97 a month?
Yes, I think I'll start at 97, but ideally I want to raise that.
Okay. And then you also will have your certification.
Yes.
And the certification is a future offer.
Correct.
Okay, cool. So both of these are in the future, and this is what you have right now. And how many clients are on subscription?
Right now, I have 1 on subscription right now.
Okay. And your capacity is 5?
5.
Okay, cool. So you have 4 open spots here.
Correct.
And what are the rates for this subscription?
The lowest tier is $3,000 a month.
Okay.
And then we have $6,000. And then the last tier can be at either 9 or 12, depending on the hours.
Okay, cool. So we'll say, I would do it at least 10. So probably like let's say 10 to 15K. This 3K, I don't think that is high enough for operations.
Okay.
Because I'm on a subscription right now for a VA and it's 3K a month, and that's their lowest tier.
How many hours?
40?
So mine is 10 hours for the month.
Yeah, 40, it's like, is it 40, 20, 40, 10, 20, 30, 40? Yeah, 40. But still, 3K is too low
Okay.
for director of ops, because you would just need way too many clients, I think, at that tier level. So when we did subscriptions, it was 6, 10, and 15.
Okay.
And then they could do some add-ons. But I think having that first tier between 5 and 6 is really good. Because at 5, then you would have 10 clients, you'd be at 50K a month. And that still is a lot of clients. But the way we set it up was we wanted to make sure we didn't have too many clients. And then for our subscription, you just got 2 services a month. We didn't do it based on hours at all.
Okay.
So you can also consider, instead of, your subscriptions don't have to be based on hours. It could be based on projects. For what you do in operations, it may be easier for it to be based on hours. But if you said 10 hours at 3K? So that's 300 an hour?
Yes.
Okay, so then that would allow you to pay a really good operations person like 85 an hour, which could be good. Like you should be able to get a good person between 60 and 80 an hour if they're doing operations work. So you may need to keep it like that, but also consider, could it be project based, where it's like you are handling hiring for that, or you will hire up to 5 roles, or you will hire up to 3 roles. Like there are certain projects they can get you to take off their plate operationally.
Okay.
You manage all of the, you do a team training once a month. Like think, is there a way to make it based on something other than hours? Because hours ties you to doing a certain amount of work. And if you don't use those hours, now the client is like, well, we didn't use all of our hours.
Okay, that makes sense. And that's easy. I mean, coming from consulting, that's pretty much how I've operated for the last
hours.
15 years,
Yeah, law is similar. So a lot of firms had to switch to flat fee models, and that like clients actually found that easier to budget for. So it was even easier. And then the client didn't have the burden of making it on hours. So when we did it for law and we went to flat fee versus hourly, on that discovery call, the initial discovery call, what we did is we would say, hey, these are the 50 legal projects that you need. We're gonna tackle 2 a month, so we have our plan for the next 12 months. Or we have our plan for the next 3 years, or however many it turns out to be. So if there's a way in your discovery call to kind of show them where they actually could use the highest package, but you have them get started for 5K a month, it doesn't seem so much.
Okay.
But I think 3K a month it's a good introductory, and maybe with some time you could kind of gauge how many of these 3K a month people end up moving up to the 10 to 15K a month, because that could be a really good determining your marker. But I think starting it at 5K, it'll allow you to do 5, 10, and 15 for your packages, which could be really simple and easy. And if there's someone who's like, hey, I really can't start for that rate, you could say, well, I could do a trial at 3K for blank. And that gives them kind of a 30-day trial, and you just make immense impact in that 30 days, and they get a junior consultant, not you, but that gives them something to get started with, and then at the end of 30 days, you upsell them on the 5, 10, or 15K a month package.
Okay.
So that can kind of be like your downsell. So that way you don't lose business, because you're doing sales calls, right, to close these?
Yes.
So with sales calls, you have the most flexibility. because you can make an offer on the fly. Like, it's not one to many where you have to give everyone kind of the same package. You can really customize it. So if the price becomes an inhibitor for them, you can make them an offer. So there's no downside to just doing 5, 10, and 15. When we did this, we wouldn't show them the subscription prices in advance, but we would typically give them our rate expectations, so they kind of knew where we started at.
Okay.
And then I would always tell them if they do subscription, most clients are on, for us, most clients stayed for 3 to 6 months. They weren't staying forever because they were getting, if they weren't big enough to need a ton of trademarks or a ton of contracts, it didn't make sense. But for you, you could be their partner for the next 3 to 5 years, and you can start having that conversation on the discovery call.
Right, and the minimum, they have to stay with me for at least 3 months, and then we figure out what's the next move after that.
That's really good. And something you could upsell them on at the end of that 3 months is you hiring your replacement, because you have an HR package. So I would say, like, stay with us 3 months, we get your system set up. If you can either keep working with us for 3 to 5 years, however long you need, or we could actually hire your replacement and we make sure that they're trained to work on our systems. And that could be like a 10K or a 20K package, flat rate.
Right, yeah.
Because recruiters charge whatever they want, so.
Yeah. Percentage of the salary, yeah.
Yeah, so, even with them getting all the training and everything like that, I think that could be a really beneficial option for them too, is you just stay on to do the hiring, you stay on another 3 months just to train them up and go from there.
Oh, that's the easy thing, is I do that now. So.
Yeah, that'd be great. And then it's like, even if it doesn't work out with that person, they still have you. So they're never kind of without that operation support. But I would love like 5, 10, 15 for these prices.
Okay.
It's gonna be easier for you to make your numbers, and you don't need as many clients, and I think you'll get a better quality of client, because at the 3K, you're still in that micro business level. Someone who is barely making, like, they could probably still pay that, but you don't want that. Like, you want the 5, 10, 15K. I can tell you, our clients on the 15K package, they were like multi-8-figure companies. They were doing 10 to 20 million a year. The clients on the 10K a month were like $1 million companies, like 1 to 10 million. And then clients on the 5K a month were doing multi-6 figures, maybe like 300,000 or so. And they would stay probably the shortest period of time in this package here. This was like our intro package. And they were just coming to get specific things done, specific trademarks, specific legal things. So 5, 10, or 15K is like a good mix. You would be looking for larger companies here, but that's better anyways, because you have experience working with global companies.
I do.
The other thing, in terms of lead gen for the subscription, you can look at job openings for companies that have under 100 employees who are looking for a chief operations officer, and pitch them fractional services. Because they're already hiring for it. And look at the budgets they're hiring for. If they're gonna pay $200,000-$300,000 for that role, they could pay you on a fractional basis 5, 10, or 15K a month until they find someone. And even when they find someone, you can train that person.
Right.
So that could still be a 6-month contract for you.
Okay, I love that. And I already have the LinkedIn job search set up, so that'd be easy. Okay.
Yep. And if you have LinkedIn Recruiter, I think it lets you get even great, like, it lets you send messages that'll kind of be at the top of their inbox. So you can say, like, hey, I see you have this opening for this role. I actually offer fractional COO services, and I would love to chat with you about what that would look like. I think you'd find that it's under budget, and it wouldn't take me much to get up to speed. Within a couple of weeks, I could actually be filling in for that role for you guys while you hire someone else, and even helping with interviewing for that role. So it's a really good pitch for them. They're looking, they're interested. That could be great, like 5, 10, or 15K. It's really a no-brainer for a company, because that's only $60,000 a year, 5K. This will be $120,000 a year. And then I think this is, what is this a year? 180? That may be 180. I don't know, I don't have my, y'all do it in the comments. Let me know. But yeah, that would be good for that. So that's one place to get leads.
Okay.
The other place is to go on LinkedIn, look at your connections, and let them all know what you do.
Okay.
And go on your phone and say, hey, I have 4 open slots that I want to fill by the end of this year. For my consulting firm, we do COO work. We typically work with, you'll just have to give them a very clear niche. What is your niche?
My niche is in consulting, in like HR consulting, smaller consulting firms, and coaching firms.
Okay, so you work with, you have experience with HR consulting firms. Okay.
HR, management, or strategy.
Okay, HR and other consulting firms. So I would let everyone in your phone know. Like, I'm looking to do sales calls with leaders of HR consulting firms. I'm looking to do leaders with HR consulting firms, strategic consulting firms. If you know anyone at a consulting firm who is senior level, director level, or above, I would love to meet them. Can you introduce me? And just get your phone working for you. and you worked at Deloitte. So all of your colleagues, let them know, hey, I have a consulting firm. I can subcontract. You all can shell out work to me. All of that is good.
Okay.
That's going to be the easiest. People who know you, who know your work, who know what you're capable of. So you have, in terms of sales strategy, you have the job boards, you have the people in your phone, and you can do direct outreach and pitching. So HR consulting firms are easy to find. Coaching companies are a little bit more challenging because it's not as easy to sort by coaching firms. But you can sort LinkedIn by coaching, and then just you probably would be looking at people who have less than how many employees?
I would say less than 50.
Less than 50 employees. So yeah, you can use LinkedIn for that and just do direct outreach. But I would also make a post on your LinkedIn, like, hey, we have 4 open slots for fractional COO services. If you know anyone who is running a company, it's quickly growing, they're very interested in scaling up, they want someone else to handle their back-end operations, have them give me a call or share this Calendly link with them. I'd love to do a call with them. And put qualifiers on that call. So like, hey, how many employees do you have? And I would put under 50 to 500, 500 plus. And then I'd put like, hey, you know, our packages typically range from $5,000 to $20,000+. Are you comfortable investing in retainer services at this time?
Okay.
And just kind of get them thinking about price, because you don't want people booking who are not serious. But that's kind of how I would grow this side of the business. Any questions about any of that?
No, I love it.
Okay,
Yeah,
awesome.
I definitely can hit my numbers a lot faster with
Yeah.
that strategy.
You can, 5, 10, 15, that's gonna be easy. And the 5 is like, but of course, more people take the lowest one. So like the 5 is there, but on the sales calls, you'll and post your script in the mastermind group, but on your call with these packages, you really wanna show them the ROI. So that sales call is just like, okay, so what are you doing right now? Okay, you're hiring, you're doing this, you're doing, like literally get them saying all the operations things that they're doing. And then you wanna ask them like, if I were to take that off your plate, what would that mean for you? What would it mean for your day to day? What would you be doing instead of hiring? And get them ideating about, oh, you're right, I would be pitching more business. I'd be making more sales. I would be actually enjoying my business. It wouldn't be overwhelming me. I would have a bigger team. I would be scaling faster. Like, you need to show them why you're necessary.
Right.
Because
yeah.
operations isn't like sales.
It's not, and I told my last person when I came on, I said, your only job is to secure the bag. I've got everything else. So she could spend her time working on the business, networking, and doing everything. And then I would lead all the sales calls. I would make sure the team was together. I would set up all the SOPs, et cetera. And she was able to do that.
Oh, that's great. And you have a video testimonial from her?
I don't.
Get one.
I do need to get one, yeah.
Yeah, just say like, hey, I'm doing a LinkedIn series of like, well, how operations helps business owners scale. I'd love to have you as my first guest, and just interview her on LinkedIn about her experience and like how much better how her life was before she worked with you, what was really stressing her out, how it was getting onboarded with you and getting up to speed. Because that's another thing that keeps CEOs stuck. It's like, I don't have time to onboard this person. I don't have time to talk to them about all this. Like, if you can show that your onboarding is really easy, and then how was it after? Like, what was she able to accomplish and grow in her business and her life by working with you?
Okay.
So cover those 3 parts, because that's gonna be really good. Now, the free community, how many are in this free community right now?
So I just started it, so we are starting from 0 right now. Because I wanted a space for people to just come to. I was initially going to start with the paid, and I said, no, I need an easy way for people to come in and get used to me. So the community is brand new, so I'm starting to invite people now.
Okay. Okay, so is anyone in there now?
Just me and my assistant right now.
Oh, okay, cool. So it's brand new. Okay. So I would not make this free community a paid community. I would keep your free community and then have a paid community, because you always want a home for your people. Like, you want a place for people to go who are not yet at that buying level. Our Speaker Ready Cash free community, I don't know if we'll always have it, but I know that I've really loved having it the last 7 or 8 years, because it's like, hey, you can't do anything else, join that free community.
Right.
It's just where people are, and a lot of our sales have come from that free community. So I would keep the community free, and then what happened when we launched our paid membership, most of our clients came from our free community. So if we can keep growing this, everything else can actually grow from here. This can grow from here, this can grow from here. It almost serves as your lead magnet. Is join that community, do your live videos in that community. Maybe you do an Instagram live, but you leave the live videos in the community. And that's like the lead magnet. It's like, hey, I'm gonna do this live video on Instagram, but I'm not gonna leave it here. If you really wanna see the replay, make sure you go into the free community.
Okay.
The way that you can grow a free community fast is with paid advertising. So there's tons of ways that you can figure out how to run paid ads. We do Facebook, but if you run paid ads to your free community, and you wouldn't run it directly to your Facebook community, you'd run it to a landing page that would then link them back to your Facebook community. Okay. So paid advertising is a great way to grow your free community. Additionally, if you have like a YouTube channel, and if you are on other people's podcasts, which I know, I don't know if you've heard Carol Lee talk about this, but she's a member of the Mastermind. She actually helps people get on other people's podcasts. You can make your freebie at the end of your podcast your free Facebook community. It's like, where can people find you? You can go to my free community right now on Facebook. We'll put a link to it. This is how we grew our free community with other people's podcasts, our own podcasts, and Instagram. So we would just do a live video and then we would share it on Instagram. We would do our podcast, the Speak Your Way to Cash podcast, and we would stream it live into the Facebook group, which was free. So people knew if I wanted to get it before it came out, I need to be in the free podcast, the free Facebook group.
Okay.
So we try to never do content once. We try to make it like my podcast goes on my YouTube, the YouTube leads people to my free events, like try to make it all cohesive. But the free way to do it would be your Instagram content leading back. Other people's podcasts is probably the best way to do it. Lead it back. And if you have money to invest in ads, then do paid ads to the page here and then grow this. And then when you're ready to launch this, invite the most active members from this to be founding members at 197 is normally a good founding member rate. This rate did really good for us. If you do 97, that's okay too. But you're gonna need more people at 97, a lot more people. And with memberships, there's a lot of churn. So it's not just recurring revenue, it can be a lot of churn if you're not constantly putting out new content, etc. If it were me and I was starting over, I would make incredible content for my free community. I would take down the best of that content, put it into my paid membership, and leave it there. And then I would kind of launch it the same way I launched it. I actually did a focus group of people from my free community, and then they became the first founding members of my paid Pitch Your Way to Cash membership.
Okay.
But community building it's a long game. So this is the long game. If you want it to be shorter, then just run paid ads to the community. Things to consider is gonna be like culture, how you're gonna engage them, and how you're gonna keep them active in the community. But the shorter game for you to get your revenue numbers is gonna be the subscription. But make sure all of your content links back to either your free community or a sales call for this.
Okay.
So if you're growing them at the same time, which I think is great to have a community, link everything free community and a sales call. Like, hey, if you're someone who wants to get better at operations, join our free community. We have content in there for CEOs looking to, get a better back end. If you're already are in business, you're making over X amount of dollars per year, and you want someone to take over your operations so you can focus on sales, book a sales call with our team. And you want to have a goal, 3 to 5 sales calls a week. That's going to that's going to hit your revenue goals. Like, you want minimum 3 to 5 sales calls per week. Like right now, you're doing sales calls, you're serving your clients, and you're creating content for your community.
Okay.
And then we didn't get to the certification, but I think this is like the focus for this year, because I know you mentioned that's Q4.
Yes.
So like this year, I would be community to build your brand, getting people in your community, and then pitching and doing sales calls to fill that, which is why you need someone to do operations so that you can focus on the
Yeah, that makes sense. So, yeah.
the sales side, because that becomes big. That becomes big. Okay, so what are you gonna do as a result of this?
Oh man. Okay, so I am going to create a job ad for an operations person now, and I'm going to raise my prices. And I am going to reach out to my network and tell them to tell a friend and tell a friend and tell another friend about what I do, and get to that 5, max out on my 5, and then be able to outsource to a junior person who is trained on my methodology. And then for the free community, I am going to be creating some bomb content and launch the paid community in the next 2 months.
I love that. I love that. I love that. And you're gonna keep your free community.
Yes, I'm gonna keep the free
That's great.
community.
Yeah, because that way you build that like that culture that you want. There's a book, The Purpose-Driven Church by Rick Warren. It's a book about building a church, but it's really a book about building community. So I read it from like a marketing angle. It's funny because I think an atheist recommended it to me, but it was really, it was such a good book. He was like, read this as a marketing book. And I was like, okay. And I read it as a marketing book. I was like, this makes so much sense.
Okay.
So like, I highly recommend that book. And when you're reaching out to your community, since you present so well in person, I would just send them a Loom video about what you do and the services that you offer, your price points, and say like, these are the job titles that you can introduce me to, and I'll take it from there.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Awesome. And then let people know if someone's watching and they need operations, a chief operations officer or fractional operations officer, let them know how they can find you and how they can work with you.
Yeah, so you can go to my website. It's harmonyconsultinggroup.org. That's harmonyconsultinggroup.org. Or you can find me on Facebook or Instagram at Coach LaTanya Roberts, and then LinkedIn under my name, LaTanya Roberts.
Love that. All right, guys, it's another amazing coaching episode. Let me know in the comments what you are going to implement from this episode as well, and hopefully you got some ideas. My name's Ashley Kirkwood. Thanks for watching the Speak Your Way to Cash podcast, and check the description. Be sure to like and subscribe, but check the description for our next free upcoming event. I want to see you there. Talk to you soon.
Yeah. Energy high, excuses low. Energy high, excuses low. Energy high, excuses low. Energy high, excuses low. I need energy, need only good people that's around me. All the faith you can give, that's the recipe.